Hello, my great and wonderful people. We welcome you once again to our today's episode of this program. And today we get some messages and videos for our table. We want to say we want quickly the review to you concerning the things we want to say if they happen right now for inside this country, Nigeria. The first message we want to say they reach our table here. Now the one we want to say it concern one of the indigenous Nigerian when it be say in name na Harvard Wigwe when it be say he passed away, him, his own son and his own wife for helicopter crash. This very one a very sad one. In case you not really know the person when it be say we they talk about. Now the CEO and the founder of Access Bank. Yes, Access Bank PLC. I believe say a lot of us sabi that very bank, not be only for Nigeria, even the total Africa as a whole. Although shortly I will leave you to hear the details of the biography of this man and many other things when it be say yes, the review concerning this man as a vision when it be say it don't set to the role and even in the nearest future for this very country Nigeria when it be say death just snatch him away like that. And wetin make his own death to us this suspicious, e not pass be say this thing what happen, it happened to his own son and his own wife. His own son and his own wife pass through the same process. Which deaths will fit take a big man and a visionary man like Haba Wigwe like that? They say na helicopter crash, na kill for USA for that very matter, not be Nigeria. I not really get am clear, although I will leave you to hear first of all the detailed biography of this very man so that you will understand the kind of person when ABC will they talk about. I'll come back.
Nigeria lost one of its best visionary bankers and entrepreneurs last Friday, Dr. Herbert Wigwe, the iconic leader of today's Access Holdings. Wigwe's demise via a fatal helicopter accident in the United States is being felt not only in Nigeria but around the world. In this report, Arise business anchor of the Arise Exchange, Abosin Omofaya, captured some of the biggest footprints of the late Access Bank leader.
As we move into the next 5 years, we will come and share with you at a later date our plans, but we have transited from being the narrow banking structure that we had before into one that has now a payment structure, that has an insurance platform that will look at pensions, all right, and also digital banking, etc. The whole idea is that we're going to create a massive ecosystem for every Nigerian to plug into if you want to do and you want to create great opportunities for yourself. This maiden outing of Access Holdings trading under Access Corporation for us is one that we don't take for granted, and we've come again to share with you the fact that you will be supporting one of the largest corporates in this country, not just in this country, but across the continent, and we will do you proud.
2 years into that market briefing at the Nigerian Exchange, April 2022, Herbert Wigwe, the head of one of Nigeria's iconic and blue-chip financial services supermarket known as Access Corp, is no more. The tragic death of Herbert, alongside his wife and son in the United States on Friday the 9th of February, was a rude shock to the Nigerian banking sector, the financial markets, and the entire country. With the relevant education and academic knowledge in his back pockets, Herbert Wigwe dived into the world of banking and finance earlier in life, as he also piled up professional qualifications for the journey ahead. Cutting his teeth at Coopers and Lybrand, Herbert stepped into the world of banking at Capital Merchant Bank, then to GT Bank, where he and his bosom partner and friend, Ig Mokwede, launched one of the most ambitious and daring corporate takeover of Nigeria's banking history. That was at the start of the 2000 era. The late Herbert Wigwe was a real entrepreneur, clothed in the garb of a banker, whose visions and goals are set far beyond the shores of Nigeria. But the starting point for Wigwe and his team at Access Bank was to reform the lender and transform it into a 21st century financial powerhouse. Over the past few years, Herbert Wigwe launched Access Bank into an aggressive frontier Africa and global expansion that grabbed the headlines. As the new year 2024 kicks in, Herbert Wigwe was set to add yet another mega deal into the Access Bank Hall of Fame. It is the Standard Chartered UK Bank deal. Herbert Wigwe will be fondly remembered as a gentleman and a Nigerian banker of repute. His demise has opened a floodgate of encomiums on his life and times from around the world. Herbert Wigwe has left behind several legacies in banking, finance, investments, and even international sports, such as the Access Bank Annual Marathon. But as the cold hands of death snatched away Herbert Wigwe, the new Wigwe University, preparing for its 2024-2025 session, is another profound testimony to a man of vision and passion, whose name goes into the annals of Nigeria's greatest men on Broad Street.
I will tell you something about being fearless. That powerful state of mind where you refuse to be constrained by the consciousness of your limitations, where you face your challenges as an adventurous quest, focusing on the joys of winning rather than the fear of losing.
Bosin Omofaye, Arise News.
I could not have foreseen the great future that is now Access Corporation.
In November of 2023, Arise News was at the Africa Financial Industry Summit in Lomé, Togo, where Dr. Herbert Wigwe was featured as one of the main speakers. Here is an excerpt of a wide-ranging discussion that he had in a one-on-one interview where he talked about Nigeria's exchange rates, trade within Africa, and also the Wigwe University.
Greetings and welcome to this session, a conversation with Herbert Wigwe, the CEO of Access Holdings. My name is Nicholas Norbrook, the managing editor of the Africa Report.
Now, I think that if I look at what has happened to exchange rates across Nigeria and the reforms that the current administration has taken, I think they are very positive things. Those reforms needed to be made, particularly given things that had happened coming from COVID and the supply chain challenges, then the issue of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, etc. So we needed to do all of that, and coming from several years behind where we could have made all of these adjustments. So it's a very painful adjustment, and we've come to grips with it in Nigeria. But those adjustments are important for foreign direct investments, and I think that given the several things that the current administration is doing, which are positive, we will see a significant growth as far as foreign direct investments is concerned. But that's not the issue. I think what is more important are the little things we need to do to stabilize our economies, whether it's in Nigeria or it's in Togo or it's in South Africa, across the entire continent. Why must we keep thinking of foreign direct investments just in the context of money coming from outside of Africa? I think if we work together as a strong region, whether it's within ECOWAS or it's within the entire continent, we represent a very strong force that can actually change the course of events across the entire world. We can get direct investments within the continent, we can support intra-African trade, we can build financial inclusion to the point that these things will just happen naturally. So I think my mindset is just a bit different. We don't need to look outside. We have ourselves to work together to make things differently. The reason you find most of the foreign banks leaving us is because they have a very fractured approach. So I come to one country, I see the opportunity today in Angola, I make money in Angola today, I run away tomorrow. I come to the Francophone world, I extract what I can extract, I run away tomorrow. You can't blame them because they're capitalists. So, but let's leave them as capitalists. For us in Access, let's go to the different countries. Where we see the foreign banks living, we replace them. We support our people, we create greater financial inclusion, we deepen the markets. We continue to do so to the point that across the continent, our governments don't need to look for elsewhere to get financing. We can support our governments, we can provide long-term funding for infrastructure because those foreign institutions have no reason to provide long-term funding for us. So we have a different view. Standard Bank has done quite well, but I think we have a much more aggressive approach towards Africa. I think that we can make Lagos to become the financial services hub of the region. That's my view, just because of the sheer size of its economy and the amount of dollars that flows through Lagos and all of that. And I think if we get it right, it will not only represent what is good in Nigeria, it will represent what is good in West Africa and the continent. A lot of times when I hear about the discussions around fintechs and banks and regulators thinking differently, I think what is important is for regulators across our region, whether it's in Nigeria or it's in ECOWAS, to think of how best to harness the advantage of these players. So you're not going to have money coming in from MoneyGram in the manner it which is coming before. It's coming in through fintechs. So let's regulate the fintechs or create a construct to protect the fintechs so that we can have a complete database of how money is coming in and therefore create the appropriate instruments for these monies to be used to support long-term infrastructure.
You obviously care about the youth because you've invested a significant sum in a new university. Can you explain some of the thinking behind that?
It's part of this Japa syndrome. Every country or continent has modeled its own education against what it wants to do. So you have the Ivy League universities in the US. So went to Harvard or Stanford or any of the good universities. It's trained to provide good quality education for Americans. If you go to France, you have good schools. INSEAD, all of them, trained to provide excellent quality education for the French. You go to England, you meet Oxford, Cambridge, etc. Excellent education for the English. You see the same thing in Asia. Why can't we provide excellent quality education for Africans?
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say all of you don't see the kind of person when it be say Nigeria as a nation lost to the cold hand of death, even as we talk right now. A very powerful brain buzz. This one are the clear indication of the popular word when it be say people they talk. Say the wicked ones, they live longer, while the good ones, they die easily. All right, now so talking concerning this matter, I will say very big condolence to the family of Herbert Wigwe and all the entire friends and well-wishers of Access Bank PLC. May God Almighty grant you all the rest and all the comfort when it be say you all need a time like this. Honestly, our heart go out for you all. All right, I'll leave you all to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this very broadcast here. We'll see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.